Hey guys, so I put this cool titanium handle I got off the internet on a flat bottom United Kingdom Tech, Gillette Tech with a flat bottom, and this has the peaked cap. You can see there's a little peak right there, and there's some people that really like the way it bends the blade. And I think there's a Canadian Tech that has the peaked cap. The Hybrid Tech, very sought after razor, very rare, has it as well. And so maybe that's why, one of the reasons I like this razor so much. This is a Stirling Boar brush, 24 millimeter. It is reluctant to break in. It's going to take a while. Does that mean it's bad? Nope, not necessarily. Maybe when it finally lands, it's going to land in a big way that is just exactly what I want, have the backbone I want with soft tips, you know. It's possible it may be awesome. Just may take longer to get there than most of my Simogs and my Zeniths and that sort of thing. What are we going to put in that razor? Pretty new-ish Nacet. I've only used it once already. Gillette Nacet blade. And today we're going to try Barbershop. Now, I tried to find my old version of Barbershop. I don't remember it being this color. It might be, but I definitely don't remember this smell. I almost thought it was some kind of production mistake. And so I emailed Rod. Well, in a couple days, he got back with me. Isn't that awesome? He's the maker, he's the company leader and owner, and he will return your emails. And he said that usually Barbershop does come in the 5.8 size. This is the 3-ounce size. But he did make a special run for a certain project or certain types of kits he was putting together, and this was one of those. And I imagine that at first I thought maybe it was Haverford or something like that, because look at how dark it is. And I could smell kind of a sweetness, maybe tobacco or something. Well, I was probably all wrong about that. Actually, what it was is the vanilla. The vanilla was telling me that it might be Haverford. I believe Haverford is part vanilla. And but he let me know that it was probably not a manufacturing mistake, because obviously he probably would have heard more about that from other people who'd gotten this soap. The person who got it, it kind of burned their face up a little bit. And so they had a reaction to it. And so I was able to buy it used with just one use on it. So I am happy about that. So Stirling Barbershop. Now it seems like from the tub here that they've taken a whole different direction with the barbershop genre. Now there's no official designation for barbershops, but a lot of times there are some florals and some powdery type barbershops. Type scents in a barbershop, but this one doesn't have that. It's got vanilla, Oakmoss actually. That's pretty common in a barbershop. Musk, amber, rum, and bay. And so some of those, man, I'm anxious to try this out. I have tried a sample of barbershop before, or maybe a tub, but you know what? It had lost its scent. It was so light, and so I didn't get a true grasp of the notes that were in it and the scent that was in it. Not today. I can smell it from the tub. I think we're going to be fine. I'm going to use my Dollar Tree shave bowl again. $3 total. Bowl $1. Glue $1. Glass beads $1 for a whole bucket of them, bag of them. And it worked great last shave. I'm going to try it again. Get my face wet. Go. Got to dry my hands. I usually put my blade in my razor first. Reason I might want to do that with dry hands is because you have to manipulate the little paper envelope, the wax paper envelope. These vintage Gillettes, all the Gillettes use the same threading pattern as Parker's, Mercours, the Maggard razors, Edwin Jaggers. They're all the same, and so you can just swap those handles out really nicely. All right, so here's the Nacet. This is just one that I'm going to use 10 or so times and then chuck it. This is not my marathon Nacet. Currently has 220 uses on it. But when I'm evaluating a new razor or just want a different feel of a shave, instead of going to the old Marathon each time, that Marathon, when it's that high up, I really am limited to just a few razors I can use with it. Whereas the younger ones, you can kind of use whatever you want. Really enjoyed this razor head, so I'm expecting similar results. Maybe almost half an hour soak, probably a little bit less on this Boar brush. It may require me to make a shortcut effort because it's being so hesitant, but I'm going to wait a little while before I do that. Shake out most of the water. 30-second load, and we rolled around to 50 right there, so let's try a 30-second load. It'll probably be plenty of soap. Last time I used the Stirling Badger brush, and the 30-second load was, give me 5 passes, 3.75, 3 3/4 teaspoons of water was used. This is a much stiffer brush than that, so maybe we'll be able to compare the formulation. Okay, that's 30 seconds, and that's what I wanted. A lot of drippy stuff on the brush. Didn't really foam up or anything like that. Doesn't really look like the brush has too much lather, so we'll just see how it pans out. You can always go back to the soap and get more product. All right. So those beads serve to agitate the bristles. I like the way it's a smooth bowl. It's nice and quiet. All right, we mix a little bit and we can see that it's developing just fine. And so let's start adding in that water. Now we said 3 3/4 teaspoons, so why don't I just go ahead and put 3 teaspoons right away. I don't think that's overkill. Let's just see how Stirling acts if we dump in all the water right away. Now obviously in the very beginning it's runny and we've got those big bubbles. It's pretty standard for right when you dump water into a mix like that. That is normal, so we just keep mixing. Sometimes you may want to add water a little more slowly to watch it develop. Whatever you want to do. One of the nice things about taking notes is that you can reuse those values. Kind of give you a head start. On getting your lather right. And see, many of those bubbles have been taken care of. It's starting to look better and better. This brush doesn't have scratchy or scritchy tips. We're on the 21st use approximately, so in a boar's life that's really still pretty young. It's just not soft yet. Scrubby, kind of a massage feel a little bit. I like the density of the bristles. Lots of packed bristles in here. I like that. And yeah, there we go. Look at that. Getting better and better. May not need to add any more water other than this. It's possible. I'm going to finish that sentence. Just conjecture. Stirling is an awesome soap that can make you really nice wet lathers. You can push a lot of water into it. It holds its own. It will not break down, even though it's very hydrated. Yeah, looking pretty good. Kind of show you the stretch. Look at that, collapsing in on itself pretty easily. The vanilla is pretty easy to smell. Amber, maybe a little bit of the rum. I'm not good at picking up bay quite yet. I don't think I like bay all that much in terms of like adding it to food and that sort of thing. So I don't, relish it in the kitchen to then have it kind of memorized in my nose, All right, this looks pretty good. Look at that elasticity. Ha ha, nice. All right, let's try this out. Those knobs also help to keep the brush propped up instead of sinking down into the lather. Water on my face. All right, let's scrub. It's so scrubby that if I had a razor I was testing using an aggressive setting, or it was like the Blackbird I used to have where it treated me pretty aggressively and I often walked away with tender skin, I wouldn't use this brush. I think it would just kind of exacerbate the situation. Massage the soap into my skin. Wet dry cycles is a thing that'll help your brush to break in. Some people like to do a fridge soak, but you know what? Somebody was looking at the kind of the video that spawned the whole fridge soak craze. An old Italian barber saying how he broke in brushes and the words he used for cold water weren't really words that necessarily meant refrigerator. And so this whole movement of, oh man, it's the best thing ever, soak your brushes for 3 days in the refrigerator, really wasn't, that wasn't the original intent. The way he said it, cold water just meant, lukewarm or, tap water that was sitting out, and so we've got this whole culture of people who've adopted that method. Now, one nice thing about let me kind of massage it into my skin just a little bit more. This lather feels great. I've got a bristle that is really kind of going off on his own way there. Looks weird. The 3-day soak mentioned by that old Italian barber was meant to get brushes up and started pretty quickly without having to just use them to break them in. Take them out every once in a while and rub them on a towel. Try to dry them off some and then put them back. It could be that the fridge may help to minimize bacteria, things like that. So, that might be okay. But I think even if you do it in lukewarm water, you're probably best to change the water every day, and that would fix any bacteria problems, in my opinion. Yeah, so 3 teaspoons of water, 30 seconds of loading. All right, let's see how the Nacet, normally whoa, that feels great. Normally a very good blade for me. See how it does with this razor, and early indications are comfort is extremely high, but I do, kind of feel the cutting sensation. Very nice experience. I don't really feel the blade edge per se. Light touch. Turns out I don't think I'm a fan of this handle's knurling type. It's kind of a diamond type, and so the diamond is kind of a landscape orientation. It doesn't have too much of a vertical component to it, and so while it does help the razor not to move up or down in my hands, it doesn't really, if you look at that diamond pattern, it makes it fairly easy for it to turn this way, and that's kind of an important thing. Now, if that's all I had, you'd probably get used to handling it, being careful with it. All right. That was quick. It was confidence inspiring. The blade just moves around so easily. Wow. All right. Second pass. So I'm a night shaver, and we're past midnight now, so officially it is Groundhog Day. We thought that with the Super Bowl being USA, football sport, Super Bowl now being on Sunday, same as Groundhog Day, we thought we would watch the movie Groundhog Day on the 1st. So we did that just now. That's a fun movie. Wife and I like it a lot. That's just kind of our generation. Grew up, it came out when we were adults, and we got a good mileage out of some of the lines in that. So it's kind of a tradition. I think the movie holds up reasonably well. And so I thought, what if I themed my shave today? Well, I guess I could have gone football. Of course, for you non-USA people, when I say football, I mean American football, not soccer. Americans call it soccer, and everybody else in the world calls it football. But American football with the tackling and passing and field goals and kickers and being able to touch the ball with your hands, that sort of thing. I enjoy watching that, and the big championship game is in several hours. So I could have done some kind of football themed shave, but I also thought in honor of Groundhog Day I could have done, because the movie Groundhog Day stars Bill Murray, has Andy McDowell in it. And Bill is the main character, and he has to repeat the same day over and over. And I think the idea is that he starts out as a very arrogant, cocky person, and he goes through some learning experiences and becomes more humble and appreciates people and values them more as he has to live each day, and he experiments with treating people better. Tries to kill himself, but he always seems to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning in the same bed, even if he killed himself in the previous day, and he just repeats the Groundhog Day all over again. There's some lines in there that my wife and I use all the time. And so I thought, one theme to go with a Groundhog Day shave in that regard after that movie would be a shave that you wouldn't mind repeating for a very long time, because as he's stuck in this kind of time cycle where he repeats time over and over, he learns to play the piano really well. He learns how to throw playing cards, and so these are some of the things that tip you off that he could have perhaps been stuck in that cycle for a very long time. So maybe pick your favorite stuff. That could be a good Groundhog Day shave. Pick the stuff that you wouldn't mind using over and over. You're not going to get tired of it. Something like that. Man, Stirling is such a good shaving soap. Man, it feels so good. It's low in price. I recently did some testing and found out that the 5.8 ounce tub for $13 will last me, because I use a bowl. It helps you to conserve soap. It lasts me longer than a year. A year and a month, I think, was the count. And that's $13. $1 a month. That's a good bargain for the quality of lather you get, for the so many scent choices you can choose from. That's a great, great deal. All right. I think the cut's pretty nice. So I think we're gonna, let's do a little touch-up pass. As I said, really happy with the comfort of today's shave. So let's throw a little bit of lather right there on my trouble spot. And do a little pulling, just lightly. Come at it at a cross grain angle. Now I can feel that. My open comb carve B plate was much nicer with that same stroke. Interesting. All right, let's just take a big whiff. I was able to enjoy it during the shave. Not super strong, but there in a pleasant way. I'm going to say 5 out of 10. Yeah, man, I like that scent. That's a good barbershop, man. I like that. The vanilla is there, but I don't like a lot of vanilla. And so it's not too much for me at all, because the other guys are playing. A little bit of musk. The amber is there. That helps to temper the vanilla a little bit. Keep it from being too much like a food or gourmand scent, I think. I'm sure the bay and maybe the Oakmoss help keep it in check a little bit as well. And the rum, I think I can pick up. I just really like that. I don't know that I'd put it in the barbershop scent, because I don't think it smells anything like Seville or what else big is out there that's a good barbershop? Is it Kraken that Mickey Lee does? That's a good barbershop. Mike's Natural has a barbershop. Some of the barbershops can be a little on the floral feminine side because there's a history of the European shaves and stuff where the aristocrats were getting shaves, and the scents that they used and the colognes that they used were kind of highfalutin. They didn't want to smell like leather and amber, these kind of things. And so a lot of these scents that I kind of really enjoy now, they eschewed that, and they wanted to smell like flowers and clean and elite things. And so some of the scents and genres that we have now are remnants of that. Once again, I really enjoyed my lather bowl here with those glass beads glued into the bottom. It just worked really well. And sure enough, I think I've got, look at that elasticity. That's magic. That's awesome right there, folks. That is terrific. That's my style. That's the way I like it. Creamy, felt great on the face, but slick. Very nice. So yeah, I like this a lot. I really like this scent. Very masculine. Really, I'm kind of caught by surprise. I expected it to be more in the barbershop genre. Another one, Ghost Town Barber, is a chiseled face barbershop that is really nice. It's got a little tweak to it, but it is still solidly in the barbershop genre, where this one kind of is smoother, sweeter, I think more masculine, but it doesn't quite have any of the florals and stuff that it does have. The Oakmoss, but doesn't have the florals that so many of the other barbershops have a hint of. Sometimes not a lot of, but a hint of. All right, well, there we go. Let us try Easy Street from Chiseled Face. This might be their barbershop. Can't remember. Let's shake it up, because I think this does have some good skin food in it. This does have menthol as well, so I'm going to get a little bit of a cooling burn. Oh, and some barbershops has a little bit of, tiny bit of like citrus in it, kind of as an early top note, you know. I'm definitely getting some sting. Yeah, raising up a little bit of redness here. Maybe I went a little too fast with the razor. Maybe this Nacet is just so new that it hasn't smoothed out yet. Just a little bit too edgy, sharp. Maybe that burr that is sometimes right at the peak of the blade hasn't had a chance to rub off yet and really let the edge shine. Who knows? Maybe I was just not being careful. That's all right. All right, now we've switched to the menthol kind of burn. Yeah, I'm happy with the closeness of the shave. So let's look at the lather. Oh yeah, yeah. The Easy Street and this go really well together. That's a nice combo. It's close enough. They're not clashing at all. Very nice. So let's look at this lather, consistency of the lather. I'm going to squeeze it out of the brush here and then pull out some that's in the bowl. Now this is an awesome lather. You do kind of have some micro bubbles going on, but you definitely, this is a tallow lather. You don't have, look, there we go. That's what we want right there. Just a very elastic connection where we have some longer peaks like that, and peaks that don't really support their own weight. See, that's what I like to see right there. Just kind of start drooping. Feels great in my hand. The slickness is there. It'll take the water if you want to go a little drier and have it really be a higher viscosity to maybe help your brush to feel a little softer. It can do that too. The viscosity just feels great. Look at that. That is awesome. That is, yep. Nailed it. It's always nice when you do that. All right. The Easy Street is smelling good. Easy Street might have a little bit more of a citrus than some barbershops do, but that's all right. It all flows in really nicely, I think. So I did just the 3 teaspoons, 30 seconds of loading with this boar brush, the Stirling Boar brush. That's what he looks like when you kind of squeeze the lather out of him. So now I'm going to take this bowl and use it to give him a good cleaning and rinsing. Got to get all that soap out of there because the soap has chemical alkalis or whatever to work at the bristles, cause them to disconnect and break and things like that if you don't get all the soap out. Well, here we are in my second shave with this bowl, and we did have one of the little glass beads. I can show you what they look like now because it's out. One of the little glass beads popped off. So obviously the adhesive I found at the Dollar Tree, it was a brand name and it said it was okay with moisture, but obviously Maybe not this kind. And it could be that I used warm water, so that caused a temperature change. And so maybe an epoxy might be a better way to go. But in terms of the performance, I'm really happy with this bowl. Just a matter of changing and finding a better glue that will work better for this. So here's this guy after the shave. It's dropped on the towel back there. Lots of bristles, lots of backbone, very scrubby. He may turn out to be one of my favorite boars, but right now he's starting out kind of rough, and I like all the other ones better than him. If you don't know, with a boar, the splay will gradually increase over time, usually, but with every boar, the tips will split eventually. I've heard there's some omegas that could take years, 2 or 3 years before they split enough to become soft and enjoyable. Some of them split within the first few uses. It all just depends. Like Zenith and Simog for me, inside of a week or two of use, and you're golden. You've got those split tips and a good feel. All of the rocks popped off, and so I think they were just the water. The water just, and I can even pull up the glue spots that were holding some of them on. So very interesting. I'll just use a different adhesive, and we'll see if we can we'll try this again. But actually, I used this without any pebbles in it for a very long time, and it's a good lather bowl for $1. I'm a big fan of this razor head. This is the vintage Gillette UK, see the made in England, flat bottom tech. And that's because the normal techs will have a diamond kind of bevel, corner starting here, corner here, and then it gets wider in the middle. And this is just the flat bottom. Wonderful chroming or rhodium, whatever they did these in back then. Just a beautiful workmanship here. It's wonderful to have it. Almost smooth shave with still being efficient. I don't have any more irritation. The cooling is almost subsided all the way. There's still a little bit of redness and stuff, but that'll go away really soon. It's all good. And the citrus blast that I'm getting from the Easy Street is a nice change, a nice evolution from the barbershop and the vanilla and the amber and the rum, touch of musk maybe. It transitions nicely to the ingredients that are in this Easy Street. But I like that barbershop so much that I might rather pick something. Who knows? Maybe I like this a lot. So I might order the barbershop balm that Stirling has for this, because I love that. I really, really like that scent. Man, if this had just a touch of leather in it, it just might be, and some touch of wood as well. It might just be my perfect scent. Just a whole lot of character to it. I'm kind of surprised and dumbfounded by how much I'm liking this scent. All right, well, maybe tomorrow I'll get back to working on number 63. Yeah, that's another one that's a great scent. It's a vegan soap that is from France, and it's a great value at just about $11 or $12. And I'm pretty sure you could probably get a year and a half worth of use out of that, or more. And it's a good performer. I don't think it's quite as good of a performer as Stirling, but I'm doing some tests on it to see if I can pull out the best performance I can. I'll do a face lather with it as well. I've done some thin lathers, so I think I'm going to try to do a kind of a thicker lather, creamier, denser lather, see how that performs. So that's coming up in the future. I'm just going to pack up my stuff. Man, so wonderful soap scent. Didn't know I liked it that much. Some of the pucks that I'd gotten before were very lightly scented. Maybe they were old enough to where they lost their scent. I don't know. Love the razor. Wonderful. The Nacet worked pretty well in it. believe I just wasn't very careful as I should have been. I don't believe it's the blade's fault or the razor or anything like that in terms of the irritation I got. And also the alcohol splash kind of aggravated my skin a little bit. Sometimes I have to wait an hour or two before putting on certain alcohol splashes. And the brush, the boar, he's coming along. We'll put some more uses on him and hope that he gets softer and softer quicker. All right, and who knows? I may use some kind of acceleration technique if I get to 60 shaves with it and it still feels like this. Yeah, I'm gonna pull out some kind of rapid thing. I may ramp it up. I may start as mild as I can because I believe I just have this instinctual feel that a mild change is better than a harsh change in terms of getting these tips to split. And so I'll start with mild break-ins, that sort of thing. Anyway, I think we're good to go. Wonderful shave. I'm really happy with it. Hope there was something here that helped you out. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. You take care. Happy Groundhog Day. Happy Super Bowl Day. I hope your team wins. I don't really have a dog in this fight. I like the 49ers from back when I was a kid and Joe Montana was the quarterback. I enjoyed watching them. The Chiefs have never really been on my radar too much, but it looks like it'll be a fun game to watch. So for those of you who like American football, there you go. You take care. Good night.